Welcome to day 1. So before we dive into the full 7-day reset, we're going to make this whole binaural beats thing really simple. You don't need any special knowledge, and you definitely don't need to force anything. This first step is all about understanding what you're hearing and why it matters, so you can go into this with confidence, not confusion. To get you started on the right foot, we're going to walk through 7 key areas. We'll kick things off with what binaural beats are and how they actually work. Then, we'll cover why headphones are an absolute must. After that, we'll demystify brainwaves, set some clear expectations for listening, and finally, look at the 7-day playlist path and how to start safely.
Okay, let's get into it.
All right, let's start at the very beginning. What exactly are we listening to here? We're going to break down this core concept in a really clear, super beginner-friendly way.
So, binaural beats are basically a sound illusion. It happens when each of your ears hears a slightly different tone. Your brain, in trying to make sense of that difference, actually perceives a third rhythmic pulse that isn't really there in the audio. And that perceived pulse, that's what people use as a wellness tool for things like relaxation, focus, or sleep support. Okay, so now let's get into the mechanics of it. How does this sound illusion actually happen, and what's it doing in the brain? This is where the science gets really interesting. What makes the whole thing work is the small difference between two tones. For example, let's say your left ear hears a 200 hertz tone and your right ear hears 204 hertz. Your brain picks up on that tiny gap and perceives it as a slow, rhythmic 4 hertz beat. This process is called the frequency following response. The easiest way to think about it is like your brain naturally wanting to tap its foot to a beat. The sound isn't magic or anything. It just offers a steady, predictable rhythm for your nervous system to follow along with. And over time, that consistent pattern can help guide you into a calmer or more focused state. But consistency really is key here. It takes a little bit of time for your brain to settle into the rhythm. Okay, this next part is maybe the single most important rule for listening to binaural beats. Let's talk about why headphones are absolutely non-negotiable for this to work. Headphones are required because each ear must receive a different tone. I mean, think about it. If you use speakers, the sounds just mix together in the air before they ever reach you, and the binaural effect is completely lost. But with stereo headphones, the left and right channels stay separate long enough for your brain to do its thing, to detect the difference and create the beat. And hey, you don't need fancy, expensive headphones. Just any pair that gives you clear stereo sound will work just fine. All right, let's make this idea of brainwaves easy. Just think of them as the different speeds or rhythms of your brain's activity. Your brain naturally moves through all of these different speeds throughout the day anyway. We usually talk about 4 main states. Beta is that fast, active state you're in when you're thinking hard, planning, or solving problems. Then there's alpha, which is more of a relaxed but still alert state, kind of like a quiet focus without any pressure. Theta is deeper and softer, often linked with inward focus, creativity, and that feeling right before you fall asleep. And finally, you've got delta, the slowest, deepest range, which we associate with that really restorative, dreamless sleep. So, what should you actually expect to feel when you're listening? It's really important to set some clear and realistic expectations here, because everyone's experience is a little different, and that's perfectly okay. While you're listening, you might notice a very subtle pulsing sensation, or maybe it's just a feeling of a softer mental pace, a sense that your mind feels a little less crowded. Some people feel calm pretty quickly, while others might need a few sessions to notice anything distinct. And what if your mind wanders? Don't fight it. That is completely normal. Just gently bring your attention back to the sound. Now, what's really important to remember is this. The goal is not to perform the experience perfectly. The goal is to simply stay with it long enough for your system to settle. There's really no right or wrong way to feel, just showing up and listening. That's the whole practice. And that brings us to the structure of the program itself. This entire 7-day reset is built like a simple learning path. It's designed to guide you step by step through the different brainwave states. So today is day 1, our explanation and setup. Tomorrow, on day 2, we'll move into alpha for calm focus. Day 3 goes deeper with theta for stress relief. On day 4, we'll introduce delta for restorative sleep, and day 5 shifts gears to beta for morning energy. We'll then combine states for anxiety relief on day 6 and integrate everything on day 7. By day 8, you'll be all set to choose your own path. So as you can see, we're moving through a sequence that gradually teaches your system how to respond. Finally, let's cover the essentials for a safe and positive experience. These are simple but absolutely non-negotiable rules for listening. Following these simple rules is absolutely essential for a safe experience. So always use stereo headphones, keep the volume comfortable, and find a quiet place where you won't be interrupted. And most importantly, this is critical. Never use these tracks while driving, operating machinery, or doing anything else that requires your full attention. The goal here is relaxation, so if you feel sleepy, that's your cue to just rest. So now you have the basics. You understand what binaural beats are, why headphones matter, and how this whole playlist is designed to guide you. That means you are ready for the next step. Day 2 moves into alpha at 10 Hz, where the focus is on a calm, clear state that's pretty easy to hold. If day 1 was about understanding the map, day 2 is where your journey truly begins. So take a breath, get your headphones ready, and I'll see you in day 2.